Hey guys, how are you today? Welcome back to the BroBryceHealth channel. My name is Bryce L. Tomlinson. Let me get this little light up here going. And we are joining the live chat. Let me get that live chat going on here. We'll turn that on with the right code. And hey, there we go. There's our live chat today. Welcome back to the BroBryceHealth channel. My name is Bryce L. Tomlinson, and today we are doing our live keto chat right here. And you'll see the BroBryceHealth info, BroBryceHealth.info. That's the Facebook group, and the BroBryceHealth.com. That is the blog site where I'll be reposting this after we're done with the stream. Now let me go ahead and light up the internet with a light up the internet with a live Facebook tweet here. So Facebook tweet, what is that? Goodness me, I feel as though I've lost my mind. We're just getting started here, so I'm going to allow people to join, and we're going to invite some people, and I'm going to get, hello?
Do you have the mail key?
Not on me? No, I have no clue where it is. Okay, so that being said, that's fun. We are missing a mail key, evidently. Okay, let me get the link to this, which this is something that I need to get the knack of doing ahead of time. Not terribly. Haven't had the greatest success rate with this, so today is a new thing. We're starting over from scratch, and hopefully everything is going to work. So far, I've succeeded in getting the actual stream to work right on the first try. So, again, we're waiting for some more people to join the chat. Welcome to the chat. And if you're here, let me know you're here. At this point, I don't have anything in place to let me know who is visiting. So let me know you're here by saying something out loud. Saturday, 4 p.m. Keto chat. We're gonna talk about electrolytes. We're gonna talk about general Q&A. We're gonna do check-ins, weigh-ins, that kind of business. As I said, keto chat, and I'm gonna do a book giveaway toward the end of this live stream. Electrolytes, Q&A, check-ins, and book giveaway. There we go. So putting that out on Facebook there. Now we're going to share this to my personal profile, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of an audience here. And how are we doing? We got one person watching. I see you there, but I don't know who you are. If you want to speak up, just go ahead and chat with us here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get started here. For my check-in, I weighed myself last night, and I wanted to weigh myself today, but to be honest, I've been having so many problems that it didn't add up. So my check-in is I've lost 4 pounds. I'm down to 185 pounds. Still fairly convinced that most of that is like water weight or bathroom weight, as I want to call it this week, because I had a lot of problems with my electrolytes and adjusting, and I really have had, well, we'll just call it dumb and dumber. I've had the dumb and dumber effect for several days. And as some of you know, I started the bacon experiment. I started that last Saturday. So today is day 8. Yesterday was day 7. And I haven't lost any more weight since, I lost the 4 pounds. I started out at 189, and now I'm down to 185, which is great, but I wish it was under different circumstances. Like, I wish that I wasn't having the digestive issues that I was having. So I'm now taking the specifically recommended electrolytes that are recommended in the bacon experiment. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the effects that I'm getting from that, which are not all fabulous. But it's, it's useful to know all this stuff. And so today being day 8, I've made some adjustments. I've made some discoveries. When I first started out, I was taking a product called Natural Calm. You may recognize the label. I've got it in my own container here, but you probably recognize the label. And as I understand it, this is magnesium citrate. And that's not recommended for the bacon experiment. Now, I've taken Natural Calm for years on end and never had a problem with it. But somehow, some way, with this plan, it definitely does not agree. So, well, either it doesn't agree or something else doesn't agree. I may go back to using it, but we'll see. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, because the focus of today's conversation is going to be on electrolytes and the different formats of them that are easily absorbed. So I'll talk a little bit about Natural Calm. Natural Calm it's a product, originally I got it from my chiropractor, and she had it in stock. She turned me on to it, and it was, at that time, it was all about the swelling in my ankles, the swelling in my calves. It was so bad. I could barely fit in my shoes, and I still have tattooing on my legs from, the swelling and the water retention and the burning. But this stuff is an effervescent type of thing, and they tell you to start out with a half a teaspoon. So in there I've got a little half teaspoon, and I will use this in like boiling water. So you have to add it to boiling water, and you let it do its fizz thing, and then once it's done with its fizz thing, you can stir it up to get the rest of it dissolved, and once it's dissolved, then you're good to go. You want it to be really hot, really boiling, and that'll dissolve it. And I always recommend to people, if you're going to start on Natural Calm, which is, by the way, it's still a pretty great magnesium supplement if you ask me, to start out small. Do that half teaspoon, 1 scoop a day, and work your way up from there. Now, I had gotten up to the point where I was taking 3 half teaspoons twice a day. So that's 3 teaspoons twice a day for my magnesium needs. And eventually I got to where I didn't have any more muscle cramps. I didn't have any more swelling of my ankles. And honestly, I don't need Natural Calm now because I've reduced my inflammation so much with keto. I don't really need Natural Calm for the most part. When I feel like I tell you guys I lost 100 pounds without supplements, and I did. But I do take certain things if I have certain symptoms, which is on occasion. So every once in a while, I'll start having some muscle cramps. Well, that tells me that I'm a little short on my magnesium, so I will, up my magnesium. By the same token, if I'm having a headache, I will take an aspirin, that kind of thing. I don't take it on a daily basis because I don't need it on a daily basis. I don't have 80% of the symptoms I used to have before I started keto. I just don't have them anymore. I mean, I used to have all kinds of muscle aches and stuff. With the bacon experiment, I have not lost any inches. So to me, that tells me solidly, with all my measurements that I checked in with last Saturday, I have not lost any measurements, any inches. So that tells me that all of the weight that I've witnessed that I've lost has come from just the digestive problems. And now I am doing it where I am taking I take 3 1/4 teaspoon portions of this is no salt here, and I have that 1/4 teaspoon just rubber banded onto it, but it's called no salt, and you can find it at your regular grocery store right next to the salt. It's a salt substitute. It's potassium chloride based. It's got a few other ingredients probably to keep it from self-destructing or something. I don't know, but I keep it in a plastic bag in my lunchbox so that I can serve it up with my water while I work. And I put in a 1/4 teaspoon in like a 20-ounce tumbler and drink that throughout the day. And as I refill it, I put more of that potassium in there. So I'm not like dosing up all at once. Initially, my first day, I took 2 of those in one day, and that in one dose, and oh my goodness, that was not good. The other recommended supplements for the bacon experiment, and the reason why I'm taking these supplements every day on the bacon experiment is because the bacon experiment, just by nature of what it is not giving you a lot of the electrolyte type minerals that you need to function pretty well on a regular basis. And while you probably can survive on the bacon just fine, you're probably going to suffer a lot more through the adaptation without some kind of supplements. So in the morning, I take this. Now, this says it's 1,000 milligrams, so I cut that into quarters, and I put 1 dose in each of my morning little spots in my pill box. And I used a pill cutter to do that. And then this is magnesium glycinate, or glycinate, and that's 400, and I break those in half and put those in my evening ones with my vitamin D, because I was diagnosed vitamin D deficient couple months ago, so I'm trying to supplement that with a decent vitamin D supplement. And so one of the things that I want to talk about today is like getting formats of magnesium, potassium, your vitamin D that are decent, that are well sourced. Some of you know I've often called a lot of vitamins fake. Like for instance, most vitamin C I consider fake because because vitamin C is not ascorbic acid, and when you see ascorbic acid on the label, ascorbic acid is just the antioxidant coating on vitamin C. And vitamin C molecule is very different from ascorbic acid. If you see the molecule, they're not the same thing, and they don't perform the same function. So I make sure that if I am taking vitamin C, which I don't, I source it from food. I typically will get it from raw leafy greens, those kind of things. You can get lots of vitamin C from natural greens and produce and stuff. But the truth is, you know, there's a lot of new research in, and it may not be that you need as much vitamin C as you need, as you think you need, if you're not destroying your health already with other garbage food. So that being said, so the magnesium malate, I take it in the morning because I understand that this is supposed to have an energizing effect. And then this one, the glycinate, this one I understand is supposed to have more of a relaxing effect. So I take it at night, try to, you know, if I took them the other way around, I'd be up all night and I'd be asleep during the day. So I don't want to be doing that. But I also make sure I'm hydrated all day long. I have lots and lots of water. And then at work, I carry this thing too, because this is a water filter as well. So I will filter the water out of the tap, because anybody who lives in Reno knows you don't drink the tap water in Reno because it's nasty. And so we filter everything, and we have a zero water in the fridge. And so some of you know that have been following, I think it was Wednesday, or no, it was Thursday. Thursday I had to switch from bacon because I think that the bacon, there's something in the bacon or something about the bacon that was upsetting my stomach. I originally thought it was the potassium chloride, the no salt. I originally thought it was that, but now I'm still taking this, and for the first time today, this is a too much information moment. Just letting you know ahead of time. You can tune out right now. Just turn your volume down right now if you don't want to hear too much information talk. So the too much information talk is, today I've had my first solid stool in a week since I started the bacon experiment. Ever since then, like ever since I started, it's seriously liquid all the way. And now, for the first time today, I've got solid stool, which is encouraging to me. A lot of people have talked about, a lot of people in the bacon experiment group have talked about how it took them some time to adapt. Now, I'm already a keto person. I'm already fat adapted. I'm used to keto. I'm used to being in ketosis. I'm used to burning fat for fuel. I'm used to intermittent fasting. So I kind of maybe naively assumed that I was going to be immune to most of that adaptation, that the adaptation was like your standard keto flu symptoms that, you know, come along with becoming keto adapted. Either that, or B, I'm not as keto adapted as I thought I was. That's possible. We always have to be critical thinkers about our own well-being and about our own approach. We have to be critical thinkers. And we have to be critical of even our own thinking, not just others. So anyway, talking about electrolytes, as I understand it, like magnesium malate is one of the most easily bioavailable forms of magnesium. The magnesium oxide that you see in the stores and the potassium oxide that you see in the stores, typically not that great of a product, and they're not that accessible. That's the problem, is you can't expect to use the supplements, the electrolytes, even the vitamins, if they're in a non-accessible format, if they're in a format that your body doesn't process very well. Like for instance, a lot of people have trouble with colloidal rock. So that's like the format that a lot of pills come in. A lot of people can't break them down. For me, like even like, I don't want to endorse NSAIDs, but I take an aspirin every once in a while, and I'll take a Tylenol for a fever every once in a while. It's on a rare occasion. Most times I can bear with my headaches now for the most part, but sometimes I'll take an aspirin. If you're taking Tylenol, there's a lot of people that can't process Tylenol. It doesn't do anything to them. And for me, Tylenol doesn't do anything for a headache for me. It just doesn't do anything. It'll help with a fever, but it won't help with a headache. So you have to have something that is in a format that's accessible. So the other thing that you need to be watchful for when you're buying any of these supplements of any kind would be ingredients that are not keto friendly, or they're just not friendly. So for instance, a lot of them use soy, a lot of them use flour or rice flour. Some of them use wood pulp cellulose in them. There's a lot of different stuff that they use in these pills, and a lot of them use soybean oil, and soy is an allergen, and even if you were to get organically sourced soy, you have a chance of causing some inflammation with that. Now, I firmly believe that about 98% of all the soy in America is drowned in glyphosate. And so even if it's non-GMO soy, it's probably still drowned in Roundup, this glyphosate. And the plants do drink it up. I've seen how they water the crops, and I've seen how they douse the crops in the Roundup. And it's like an accumulation of like a downpour of rain almost. And in many cases, it puddles up around the crops. So these plants, they do drink this stuff up. There's no way to get around that. Even if you wash your stuff, it still drinks it up. It's in the plant. So that's a concern of mine. I try not to drink Roundup. Just a thing of mine. And you can call me some kind of, superstitious conspiracy theory person. I've watched it, so it's kind of a no-brainer. Anyway, that being said, I wanted to know if you guys have any questions. If you're popping in for the first time and just checking out the stream, feel free to post a comment or a question or any kind of keto subject matter that or even if you're an anti-keto person. I am always a person that says, what, hey, bring your science. Maybe you'll cause me to rethink my approach. If I really didn't have any kind of open-mindedness, then I probably wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in now. I had to relearn everything from scratch. I had to learn how not to fear fat. So going back to a subject that I was talking about just a minute ago before I lost my train of thought. On Thursday, I had to change from bacon to pork belly. Now, some of you know pork belly is what bacon is mostly made out of. At least almost all decent bacon is made from pork belly. Now it's smoked and it's cured and it's treated in such and such a way. Now I went to the butcher shop and I bought fresh pork belly. And I just take that and put it in the air fryer. I cut it into strips about that thick. Not like bacon strips, but like that. Like something that's going to taste probably a little more like fatty pork chops. And I put it into the air fryer and let it go for like 20 minutes. Turn it over, let it go another 15, 20 minutes. See what happens. And it smells delicious. It tastes delicious. It's amazing. And but 2 pounds a day of bacon or pork belly is what you get to eat for 30 days. I'm on day 8, so it's proof that it can be done. Are you willing to put up with the stuff that I've been doing? That's up to you. So I had to make some decisions, and I think it was Thursday that I made the decision, and I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I can't feel like this anymore. This is terrible. And so Thursday, I was like this close to just saying, okay, I'm gonna fix up one of my keto English muffins and have a keto muffin, you know, have any of these things that I normally would have, and, you know, fix myself some vegetables and try to feel better. But I didn't end up doing that. I ended up going to the butcher shop and got some pork belly. Now today I feel a little bit better. I felt a little bit better yesterday. I feel a little bit better than that today. Still not feeling fabulous, but at least I'm not making as many trips to the bathroom. So, you know, for several days I tried several different changes to try to get things to calm down, and it was basically the only thing I was able to do is reduce the quantity but not the quality. So anyway, I am keeping an eye out on Facebook to check for comments on this video as well. And if you're watching the live stream live right now, you can see the chat window, and you can see that I can see the chat window. So I will try to answer any of your questions. And we've got about half an hour to go, about 28 minutes left to go. And after this, I'm going to jump over to the Old Nerd Reviews channel and join his chat over there. So, back to the magnesium glycinate. You know, one of the things that I watch out for is just the ingredients that are in here. For instance, cellulose. Now, that's probably what is, it's probably coating the thing, but generally if you see cellulose in the ingredients, to be honest, it's probably coming from wood pulp, and that's most of the time where you get cellulose. So I may rethink, you know, where I got the magnesium glycinate and try to source something a little better, but for now things seem to be starting to straighten out. One thing I will say is I have some muscle cramps that are happening, like widespread muscle cramps. I had like really deep tissue muscle cramps in my calves and the back of my knees last night. I still have a little bit of that lingering. My lower back was starting to cramp up a little bit. My hands and my neck were cramping up, and it was like this widespread deep tissue cramping. Haven't experienced anything like that in a long time. So I have a feeling that's maybe my body trying to balance itself out or cry out for help. I don't know. I am going to I'll be giving away a book, probably about 12 minutes. I'll be giving away a book, and it's going to be The New Atkins for a New You, and that is by Dr. Eric Westman with Jeff Volek and Dr. Stephen Finney as well. That is I think it's a great book. My take on it, though, there's one thing about this book that I think that you should know. Okay, if you're really looking for a truly keto approach, a truly genuinely healthy keto approach, and not just looking for weight loss, you're looking for overall body health, I don't think it's wise to reintroduce some of the foods that got you in trouble in the first place. So one of the things that they mention right off the top in the opening of the book is that some people are able to reintroduce bread and wheat and things like that in limited quantities. And to me, you know what? I've kind of got an all or nothing approach. You need to get yourself off of bread. I don't think bread is, especially modern bread, and you can say what you want about, old bread, ancient bread versus new bread and ancient grains and whatever. Carbs are carbs. And for me, bang for the buck, wheat does not offer forth any kind of nutritional value that I can't get easily somewhere else with a better carb count. I don't need to flood my body with insulin. I don't need to waste my cupboard space on wheat. and I would encourage that for you. Also, the Atkins books tend to lean more toward allowing people to supplement on a regular basis with bars and shakes. And I don't think bars and shakes are good for you. And I know that I did a product review on this channel. I think I also said in that video that I don't really endorse products per se. I'm not a product person. That said, there's times that, you're on the road or whatever, and it's something easy and it's available, but I don't think they're good for you. And I think they got a lot of fake food in them. And I think the sugar alcohols have a more profound effect on the gut than I used to think. So I don't really eat protein bars anymore. I mean, if there's some around the house, and I might grab one once in a while, but it used to be like a day-to-day basis or every other day or something like that, and I just don't do that. Now what I do is I make real food. I do make like lots of healthy meats and vegetables. I make those kind of things. I also make my own mayonnaise because I think that mayonnaise today on the shelf is made of garbage. And if you're looking for overall health, you want to learn as much as you can and whittle away those things that you find out are causing you to be unhealthy, or that have a chance of causing you to be unhealthy. I'd rather avoid it. It's like, for instance, I gave up peanut butter. I don't eat peanuts on a regular basis. Every once in a while, I'll go to a steakhouse. They'll have peanuts in the bucket, that kind of thing, and I'll have some peanuts, and I don't feel bad about it because I don't eat them on a regular basis. But I think that peanuts have a real inflammatory effect, and I also think that they have an allergen effect. And even if you're not allergic to peanuts, you can still have some bodily reactions to things that you may not be allergic to, because the thing that makes other people allergic to it still is not great for you. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just decided to avoid peanuts altogether. And I use almond butter. Now, I also think that, some of the same things can happen to almonds when you break them down into peanut butter. You pulverize this nut, and now it's more open to oxidization. Those oils can oxidize, and then you can be exposed to something that would be more inflammatory than a raw nut, which is where I give this. It's about the only place that I give any credence to this raw food, eating everything raw. If it's processed with something other than your teeth, then it's going to be harmful to you. That's about the only place where I give any credence to that. If it's something that can be oxidized, or if it's something that the nutritional value of it is somehow diminished by pulverizing it, then so be it. If not, then, like for instance, a lot of people used to say that if you blend your vegetables into a smoothie, then you lose all the fiber and you only get the sugar. This is true only if you're using like a juicer that strains out the pulp. If you're eating the whole thing, honestly, the impact that pulverizing that vegetable has done to it, it's negligible at best. It's not true that you only get the fiber, or you only get the sugar and none of the fiber. That's just not true, and science has proven it. Okay, it's a superstition or whatever. But if you are using a juicer that extracts the juice and leaves behind the pulp, well then, yeah, you're pretty much getting rid of the fibrous part of the vegetable. And then there comes up the question of whether fiber is all that beneficial. I am on the fence about that, but I do believe, with my recent 1-week experiment, that it doesn't take vegetables to have movements. And fiber may not be all that important in making that happen, in my opinion, based on what's happened to me so far this week. Anyway, we are coming up on about 5 minutes from the giveaway, and what I want you guys to do, if you haven't yet, is to comment down below and just say that you're interested in the book. Just say interested in the book. And I will do a randomized giveaway. And if we have enough input here by the end of the live stream, I will do it right then. If we don't have enough input by the end of this stream, which is in about 20 minutes almost, then I will wait until tomorrow evening to make that decision. I will cull from the comments section down below. But until then, if there's someone that comments live on this stream, then you'll see it. Anyway, since we have some time, I would like to go a little bit into my history. So some of you know that back in, I don't know, I think it was like 2003, 2004, I started reading about the Atkins diet. I saw it I saw something about it on a magazine cover somewhere, and then I started researching it a little bit. And you know, back then the internet wasn't what it is today. It was halfway decent, but it wasn't what it is today. Today we live in a time where, unlike any other time, you're able to look up anything, and just even if you don't know what it is, you're able to look it up, and you can see right away what that thing is. That is something that we didn't have so much in the 2003, 2004 time. What we did have, we still had a lot of print magazines, and so I spent a lot of time in doctors' offices, and I read that. And I ended up buying the book, the Atkins New Diet Revolution, and I followed the instructions, and I did not spend any time at all really studying the science. Now I saw some of the study results, and I saw that, you know, hey, this is supposed to be a valid way of eating, but I didn't really study the science, how it works. I didn't know anything about insulin resistance. I didn't know anything about what makes diabetes tick, or what really causes heart disease, what really causes inflammation, what really causes or what triggers autoimmune disorders. I didn't know any of that stuff, and I wasn't trying to learn it. What I was trying to do was find out something that worked for me. And so I followed the instructions, and I did it really well. And I did consume a lot of products back then, but I also rode my bike everywhere, just everywhere. And I got down to 165 pounds, and I was very successful. I was very fit. At least probably in the eyes of everybody who saw me. I was either too skinny, mostly said by my friends who were not quite as thin, or I was just considered to be fit. And but eventually, you know, not knowing the science, not knowing the why, and just kind of wanting to do my own thing, I kind of fell by the wayside, and I ate whatever I wanted for many years. I also got married to an Asian woman who loved rice and bread, and it was in the house a lot, all the time. And I can't blame her, because it was me that put the things in my mouth. That's me. But when you have the things in the house, it does make it harder. It is harder. It's a harder journey. For those of you who have kids, I feel for you, because you have kids and they want cereal, and they want, you know, muffins and things, danishes and stuff to run out the door with to go to school. And for me, that would just be a nightmare. I would eventually consume one of those things. It's easy for me to go out with friends and sit in front of them while they eat things that are crazy. For me now, after all these years, it's easy. And part of it is, like, I'm so used to intermittent fasting, I typically eat once a day anyway. So I can sit there and eat nothing and be happy. if then as I was going through my journey of, you know, gaining all that weight back and getting back up to, I don't think I got it with 282 pounds or something. It was crazy, and I felt terrible. And when I went to the doctor, he was like, you're going to spring a leak any moment now, and your blood pressure is through the roof, and your triglycerides are 300 blah blah blah, and you have almost no HDL. And he says, you need to do this, and you need to get on a statin. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do a statin, so what's plan B? And I mean, for some reason, I knew that a statin was not the thing to do. And I know I have friends and family that disagree with me, and I have to be okay with that. I very passionately know a lot of intimate details about how statins work and why no one should ever take them. That's my choice for me, and I don't try to play doctor. Those of you that know me know I'm not a doctor. I can't give medical advice. What I can do is tell you what they call N equals 1. That means this is an experiment. N is the number of people involved. 1 is that number. That's me. So this is my N equals 1, my testimony, and I can tell you that I'm not going to take a statin. And I had 2 other doctors prescribe me a statin since then, still won't take a statin. And I said to my doctor, well, how about this? You know, I'm going to go out for a few months and come back. You can check me again. He says, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to try to exercise a little more, but I'm going to do a low carb thing. I'm going to go low carb. And he says, okay, you think that's going to work? And I said, well, I'm pretty sure it will. So I was eating fairly low carb, reasonably low carb. And I was in a cast iron cooking group at the time, and I asked them, because they show like tons of pictures of bread and stuff. I said, I see all these pictures that they're like cornbread and cast iron, and does anybody have like a recipe for cornbread or for quick bread or something that's made without grain? And I was like attacked by all these people, venomous creatures, saying, "Get out, you blasphemer!" And one person private messaged me and said, you might want to check out this site. And that was Ruled Me. RULED.me. Ruled Me. And for the first time, I saw these recipes, beautiful recipes. Now, Craig's kind of a foodie, and he's a little bit chefy for me. I love his enthusiasm. I love his creativity. I love his photography. I love his food. But I am just not going to do that every day. That's just not me. So I took what I found on the website and tried to learn from it. And one of the things that I learned from it was this term, ketogenic. Did not know what it meant, but I Googled it. And now we do live in an age where you can find anything you want. And I found all kinds of stuff. Now, of course, I found all kinds of conflicting stuff about what is the definition of ketogenic and all of this business. And I try to just settle that here. You know what? There's no need to fight about those things. There are different approaches to what we call ketogenic. My approach happens to be this one. Here it is, and I present it. I choose not to fight about that stuff because fighting is not fruitful. I find that the only person you need to fight with, honestly, is probably your doctor. Because I find, you know, it's one of those things where I saw a meme the other day and it said, when you're the smartest person in the room and you're at the doctor's office, try to learn as much as you can so that you're equipped to discuss things with your doctor. 1 second, I'm going to step away real quick and I'm going to go get that book for you guys. So let me be right back here. And I'm going to put you back on the musics. Hi guys, and welcome back. I am back with the book, and the book is The New Atkins for a New You. And I wanted to show this to you. It says, you think you know the Atkins diet, think again. The new Atkins is powerful. Learn how to eat the wholesome foods that turn your body into an amazing fat-burning machine. Easy, the updated and simplified program was created with you and your goals in mind. Healthy, Atkins is about eating delicious and healthy food. A variety of protein, leafy greens, and other vegetables, nuts, fruits, and whole grains. That one gets me right there on the synopsis. But if you're a person like me that is able to think critically, it shouldn't be a big deal. I know that grains are bad for me, so I avoid them. Flexible, perfect for busy lifestyles. You can stick with Atkins at work, at home, on vacation, when you're eating out, wherever you are. And it's backed by science. More than 60 multiple studies support the low-carb science behind Atkins. Now, one thing that I love about this book is that it's written by Dr. Eric Westman, and I have the utmost respect for Dr. Eric Westman, and he does say about this book that it really does contain pretty much everything you know to do a realistic low-carb, high-fat approach and do it successfully, do it for life. So for me, I think that this is probably a good resource, but you need to think about it critically. And this does have lots of menu items and carb counts and different resources in it that are pretty cool. So I would, and it's got a lot of anecdotal stuff and study information. So this was bought at a thrift store. All the books that I am giving away on this channel are going to be thrift store finds. Other people will put these away. I'm hoping that you will put this to use. So all you have to do in the next 5 minutes of this chat is to say, I'm interested in the book. And I will draw someone at random at the end of this stream to give it away to. And I'll announce that person on my next live stream. And we will do this again next week. So just say that you're interested in the book, and I will make sure that this gets to you free of charge. This is for US residents only, because I don't have any ability to ship out stuff internationally on a dependable basis. So it's for US residents only. I want to encourage all of you to join the Facebook group, which is right here, BroBryceHealth.info. And then you can also read my articles and stuff that I'm going to be coming out with, as well as find a quick access to these videos on BroBryceHealth.com. That's the blog site. All of that stuff will also be, available to you if you just Google BroBryce Health, which is that thing up there, BroBryce Health. Google is amazing. It finds me correctly right away, amazingly. BroBryce Health. So I want to sum this up by saying I'm going to be doing these live streams every Saturday at 4, hopefully without further interruption. Today's stream seemed to launch pretty easily, pretty well. I'm not sure that the event scheduler works all that great. I think I'm just going to have to do it manually. I don't think that it's fabulous trying to do it with the event scheduler. That seemed to fail miserably last time. Today, the live stream just launched right away. So I'm going to try to do this like every weekend, every Saturday at 4. And I will let you guys know ahead of time if I'm going to reschedule it or cancel it, or if I'm out sick or something like that. But I probably will do them even when I'm sick, most likely, because I want to help you guys. And even if you are joining this stream, watching the replay, if you want to check in the comments down below after the stream, they won't show up over here, but they will show up down below in your comments. And if you want to check in with your measurements and how you're doing with keto, what your approach is, any questions that you have, I'll try to answer them there, or I will try to bring those together for a Q&A for next Saturday as well. So if you have questions that you'd rather have answered in long form in the video in the stream next week, then make sure that you clarify that in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. We're just in the closing 3 minutes, still waiting for anybody to claim this book, The New Atkins for a New You by Dr. Eric Westman, Stephen Finney, MD, and Jeff Volek, PhD. So those are 3 guys that I have listened to extensively, their lectures on YouTube, and you can find all kinds of lectures by them on YouTube if you're interested in finding out the validity of these guys' claims. This does have the Atkins spin on it, so I don't know if it's like purely what you would call the school of keto, but it is by 3 guys who are basically the professors of the university at the school of keto, so you have to give them something for that. Anyway, if you are interested in any of these things, you can check out links in the description. I'll put those in after the show. For Natural Calm, that is a magnesium citrate, and I'll try to list out like possible side effects, things that it's good for, things that it's not good for. Magnesium malate, this is the one that I take in the morning. It's supposed to give me some energy, but it's also, you know, it's an electrolyte. It's supposed to balance out. The 3 main big ones that I'm focused on is sodium, potassium, and magnesium. And then I also take this magnesium malate, or magnesium glycinate 400, and I'll put that link in the description as well. I take this at night. It's supposed to be relaxing. And then I have the no salt. The no salt is something I got at the grocery store, but I'll put a link down below in case you can't find it at your local grocery store. So we're coming up to the very end of the broadcast, and so far I haven't had any comments claiming this book, but if you are interested, please leave in the comments down below that you're interested in the book. I will choose a winner of this book and I will contact you directly. If you don't hear from me and I have left a comment or response or something, if you don't hear from me, then please find me on Facebook, BroBryce on Facebook, and send me a message, and I will try to contact you, or you can leave a message in the BroBryceHealth Facebook group right there. Anyway, it is 5 o'clock. It's time to end the broadcast. Thank you for watching, and thank you for joining us. Even if you're joining after the fact, you are just as welcome to leave comments down below, questions, answers, keto chat. Let's have a conversation, and we'll resume this talk live next Saturday at 4 p.m. I'm also going to do check-ins throughout the week, so you guys are going to see videos popping up throughout the week. So make sure you subscribe. Press that subscribe button down there and check the bell notification button so that you get notified whenever there's a new video posted. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again next week right here on the BroBryceHealth channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.